London at night had always been my favorite. The soft hum of traffic, the golden lights reflecting off the Thames, and the faint smell of rain that always lingered in the air. My name's Daniel Hughes, 33, born and raised in South London. I've always believed love was supposed to be steady. Not perfect, not easy, but honest. When I met Emily Carter, I thought I'd found that kind of love. We met at a cafe near Covent Garden. She'd spilled her latte on my sketchbook, apologized 100 times, and before I knew it, we were laughing like we'd known each other forever. That laughter turned into late-night walks, Sunday markets, quiet evenings with tea and records spinning softly in the background. 2 years later, I asked her to marry me. She said yes, and with tears in her eyes and the London eye glowing behind us. For a moment, I believed I'd found forever. Wedding plans started quickly. Emily was buzzing with excitement. Flowers, venues, dresses, guest lists. But somewhere between all that happiness, I noticed something change. She began to drift, emotionally. She'd spend hours on her phone, smiling faintly at messages she never explained. Her laughter, once bright, now felt forced. "Are you okay?" I'd ask her gently. She'd smile, avoiding my eyes. "Just tired, Dan. Wedding stress, you know." But I knew it wasn't just that. The distance wasn't caused by exhaustion. It was caused by someone else. One evening, as I was tidying the kitchen, I heard her phone buzz on the counter. The name on the screen froze me. Adam, her ex. The man she'd once said was toxic. The one she swore she'd never go back to. I didn't open the message. I just stared at it, my hands shaking. When she walked in, she saw my face and went pale. "Daniel, it's not what you think." But the truth was already written in her silence. I didn't shout. I didn't beg. I just said quietly, "If there's something you need to tell me, do it now. Before we say I do." She looked at me, tears filling her eyes, and whispered, "I'm confused." He reached out. I just needed closure. That word, it felt like a knife. The next week felt like living inside a fog. Our wedding was 3 weeks away. Invitations sent, venue booked, but inside our flat silence screamed louder than words. One morning she packed a small bag. "I need a few days," she said softly. "I'm going to Devon. Adam's there. I need to clear my head." I stood there, my world collapsing quietly around me. "You're going with him?" She couldn't even meet my eyes. "I just need to know I'm marrying you for the right reasons." I nodded slowly, my throat burning. "Then go, and if you find what you're looking for, don't come back out of guilt." She left, and so did my peace. The days after that were a blur of rain and regret. London felt colder than ever. I'd walk along the South Bank every evening, hands in my pockets, wondering how love could vanish so quietly. Friends called. I ignored them. My mom came by, worried. "She'll come around, love," she said softly. But I knew, once someone goes back to the past, it's because they still live there. A week later, a message arrived. "Daniel, I think I need to be honest with you. I'm sorry." She didn't explain much, just said she was staying with Adam for a while, to see where her heart truly belonged. That was the end. No big fight. No closure. Just silence. I canceled the wedding. Called the guests. Told the florist to stop the order. It was humiliating, but also strangely peaceful. For the first time, I wasn't pretending everything was fine. I boxed up her things, her scarf, her books, the half-finished painting she'd made of us in Hyde Park. When I found the ring, and still in its velvet case, I held it for a long moment. Then I walked to the river, the same spot where I'd proposed. I opened the box, took one last breath, and let it fall into the Thames. It sank quietly, like a goodbye that didn't need words. 4 weeks later, just when I'd begun to feel human again, my phone buzzed. Emily. I stared at her name for a long time. Then I opened it. "Daniel, I don't deserve to ask for your time. But please read this. I was wrong. Adam wasn't closure. He was a reminder of why I left him. I realized too late that peace doesn't live in the past. It lives in the person who stood by me when I was lost. You. I'm not asking for us to go back. I just needed you to know. I never stopped loving you. I was just too broken to recognize real love when I had it. I read it twice. My chest ached. But I didn't reply. Some love stories don't need an ending. They need silence. Weeks turned into months. I moved out of our flat, rented a small cottage in Kent, started painting again, something I'd stopped doing long ago. There, away from the noise of London, I learned how to live slowly again. I'd make tea, watch the rain on the window, and let memories pass like distant trains. Every now and then I'd think of her, not with anger, not even sadness, just a quiet understanding. She was a chapter, not the whole book, and one evening, while sketching the sunset over the fields, I realized something, for the first time in a long while. I wasn't waiting for anyone. I was at peace. Sometimes love doesn't end the way we expect. It doesn't always crash. Sometimes it drifts away softly, like the tide pulling back from the shore. Daniel didn't get his happy ending, but he found something even better. He found himself, and in the quiet that followed, he finally understood. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving someone. It just means you love yourself enough to move on. Sometimes love doesn't end when it changes.